keep working with functions. So I'm going to have a function here that pretty much enables a message when the temperature is higher than 100. So I'm going to have a def alarm function. And here I'm going to have a temperature. So this function needs a temperature. And I'm going to say if my temperature is higher than 100, then do something. So I'm going to have this printing a alarm is on message. All right, that's going to be the first if. Then I'm going to have temperatures, let's say between 0 and 100 is okay. So I could say something like else if my temperature, oh, sorry, else if temperature, it's going to be less than 100 and temperature is going to be higher than 0. So you have these two options here. You could also say this because we don't have an equal here. Then I'm going to print a temperature is okay. So we have these two options, but we also want to have an option where probably the temperature is now from 0 to 100 or higher than 0, maybe, or 100 than, sorry, higher than 100. So maybe it's a negative value or something like that. So for that option, I'm going to have a temperature not reading. And then here, I'm done. So basically, this function has an if statement and is going to basically based on the user's input, it's going to confirm which message it should put. So we're going to go to the main method here. So this is where we're calling this function. So I'm going to have a print alarm, then I'm going to have a temperature. So I could have here a temperature one value saying that this is 120. Let's call this temperature 2, saying this is a 25, 24, and let's have a temperature 3 saying probably -5. Okay, so in this scenario, I'm gonna print alarm and then I'm gonna pass this temperature value, which in this case, it's gonna be my temperature 1. Could basically copy this and probably pass temperature 2 and temperature 3 here. And I could say print. Okay, so for this scenario, what I'm doing is basically from this main method, I'm calling this function, but at the same time, I'm testing different values. So I'm just gonna say main. I want my main here, and this should work. So for this temperature 1, I should set the alarm. For this one, temperature is okay. And for this one, because this is a negative value, I'm gonna say temperature not reading. So let's just run this. And I'm gonna have basically those results here. So alarm is on, temperature is okay, and temperature not reading. And then I'm gonna have this end message. Okay, so that's basically how you could let's say create a separate function and then call it from the main method. You could also create a different functionality here. Let's say alarm is damaged. I don't know. So I could say I want to have a temperature, and instead of having a temperature not reading, I could say if the temperature is less than, I'm going to say minus 26. So I could print machine not working. And then here I could modify this and say L if, and then temperature. So this is going to go till minus 26. So I could say something like temperature higher than minus 26 and temperature less or equal than 0. So this is going all the way to 0, right? Higher than 0. Then I could say here less or equal than 0, but has to be higher than minus 26. So if it goes below minus 26, I want to trigger this other function. It's going to print machine not working, and I can also call it from here. So I could say alarm, alarm damage, and I could say temperature 4, which I do not have yet. So I could just copy this and say that's gonna be equal to minus 50. So I'm gonna print this, and this is gonna give me this other message here, which is machine not working. So let me just run that, but let me just delete this first. When I run that, and we're gonna notice that machine not working is here because the temperature is minus 26. So let me just delete this. And it'll be also a good idea to actually mention the temperature. So if I run this again, then I have the minus 50 here. So temperature, so the user also knows why this message is showing. So I could say something like this as well. So it looks a bit better. So let me just run this again. And okay, it's gonna give me this error. Just gonna have a comma here. And I'm just gonna run this again, and I'm gonna have minus 50 dash machine not working. I could also say the same here. So I could say if I wanna have the temperature right, then I could say something like this. And then I'm gonna have the message here, temperature not reading. And I could say temperature as well here. And then say comma, then have a dash here, close it. then comma. All right. And finally, I'm just gonna do the same here. And that's it. So this is just some sort of better formatting. So in this scenario, the user knows actually which temperature we're talking about. So 120 alarm is on, 24 temper temperature is okay, -5 temperature not reading, and then you got that -50, which is this other function here. So machine not working. If I mean, I could also add an elif here or maybe an else, but this is just going to be triggered when the value is less than -26. So that's pretty much everything.